After our divorce, I secretly carried his child until the day I went into labor and the doctor lowered his mask. I forgot how to breathe. The doctor lowered his mask and I saw my ex-husband's face staring back at me. I was mid-contraction, legs in stirrups, hospital gown soaked through with sweat and amniotic fluid. The fluorescent lights were too bright. Someone was telling me to breathe, and there was Ethan, Dr. Ethan Chen, the man who'd served me divorce papers 8 months ago while I was frosting his mother's birthday cake. Chloe, his voice cracked like glass. The contraction peaked. I screamed, crushed the nurse's hand. When I could breathe again, when the white-hot pain receded to a manageable agony, I looked at him. Really looked at him. His eyes were the same, dark brown, the kind I used to think were beautiful. Now they just reminded me of every time he'd looked away when his mother criticized me. Do you two know each other? The nurse, Linda, her badge said, Linda Kowalski, RN, looked between us. We were married, I said through gritted teeth, another contraction building, until he served me divorce papers while I was planning his mother's 65th birthday party. Ethan went pale, actually swayed on his feet. I didn't know you were, he started. Pregnant? I finished. Yeah, found out 3 days after you moved out. Funny how that works? The contraction hit like a freight train. I screamed again, felt my body splitting in two. Ethan stepped forward, pure instinct, professional training overriding the personal catastrophe, but his hands were shaking. I could see them, trembling as he checked the monitors, as he examined me with the kind of clinical detachment that didn't reach his eyes. You didn't tell me, he whispered. You didn't ask, I shot back. You were too busy with Melissa from your residency program. Linda's eyebrows shot up. She looked at Ethan with something like disgust. That wasn't, Ethan started. Save it, I interrupted. Just deliver my baby and get the hell out of my life again. 8 months earlier, I'd been married to Ethan Chen for 3 years, 2 months and 14 days when he destroyed everything. We'd met in college, University of Connecticut. I was studying graphic design. He was pre-med. We met at a coffee shop, the kind of meet-cute that belongs in movies, not real life. He spilled his latte on my sketchbook, apologized profusely, bought me a new coffee and a new sketchbook, asked for my number. 6 months later, we were inseparable. 2 years after that, he proposed. His mother cried at the engagement party. Happy tears, I thought. I was wrong about a lot of things. Mrs. Helen Chen was a force of nature, 64 years old, retired professor of molecular biology, widow for 12 years. Her husband, Ethan's father, had died of a heart attack when Ethan was 15. Ethan was her only child, her entire world. She made that very clear at our wedding. You're lucky to have him, she told me during the mother-son dance. Ethan could have had anyone. He chose you. I smiled, nodded, told myself she was just being protective. The first year of marriage was fine. Good even. Ethan was in his residency at Hartford Hospital, grueling hours, 24-hour shifts. But when he came home, he was mine. We had a small apartment, nothing fancy, but it was ours, until Mrs. Chen decided it wasn't good enough. You can't raise a family in this neighborhood, she announced one Sunday dinner. I'm buying you a house. Mom, we're fine, Ethan started. Nonsense. I've already made an offer on a beautiful colonial in West Hartford, 4 bedrooms, excellent school district. I looked at Ethan, waited for him to push back. He didn't. That's very generous, I said carefully, but we'd like to choose our own house when we're ready. Mrs. Chen smiled, the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. Chloe, dear, I'm trying to help. Unless you'd prefer to struggle, we're not struggling. You work at a design firm making $45,000 a year. Ethan's residency salary is barely enough to cover his student loans. Accept help when it's offered. She bought the house, put it in her name, let us live there rent-free. It should have been a gift. It was a leash. Mrs. Chen had a key. She used it twice a week, minimum. She'd let herself in while we were at work, rearrange things, leave notes. The kitchen was filthy. I cleaned it. You're welcome. These curtains are awful. I ordered new ones. They'll arrive Tuesday. Ethan's favorite meal is kung pao chicken. The recipe is on the counter. Try to make it right this time. I tried talking to Ethan about it. She's just trying to help, he'd say. She's controlling our home. She bought us the house, Chloe. The least we can do is be grateful. I didn't ask her to buy us a house. She's my mother. She means well. That phrase. She means well. I heard it so many times I started to hate it. When Mrs. Chen redecorated our bedroom without asking, replaced our navy bedding with floral prints she'd chosen, I finally snapped. It was a Sunday dinner at her house. She did this every week. Mandatory attendance. She was talking about the bedroom, how much better it looked now, how I clearly had no eye for interior design. Helen, I said, voice steady, I need you to stop redecorating our house without permission. The table went silent. Mrs. Chen set down her fork. Excuse me? The house. I appreciate everything you've done, but it's our home. I'd like to make decisions about how it looks. Our home? She raised an eyebrow. I paid for it, and we live in it. Chloe, Ethan put his hand on my arm. I pulled away. No, I'm setting a boundary. Your mother cannot keep letting herself into our house and changing things without asking us first. She's trying to help, Ethan said. Again, I don't need that kind of help. We need privacy. We need autonomy. We need respect, Mrs. Chen interrupted. That's rich, coming from someone who married my son for financial security. I felt like I'd been slapped. I married Ethan because I love him. Then act like it. Support his career. Keep a clean house. Show some gratitude. I stood up. I'm going home. Chloe, sit down, Ethan hissed. No. I drove home alone, sat in our floral bedroom, and cried. Ethan came home 3 hours later. I heard him in the living room, on the phone. I know, Mom. I know. She was disrespectful. I'll handle it. My stomach dropped. The next morning, he woke me up early. We need to talk, he said. I sat up, noticed the manila folder in his hands. What's that? He handed it to me. Divorce papers. I stared at them. At his signature already on the bottom. At the date. That morning's date. You're serious, I whispered. My mother thinks it's best. Your mother thinks... I couldn't finish. Couldn't breathe. She's been patient, Chloe. We both have. But you're not fitting into this family the way we hoped. You're combative, disrespectful, unwilling to compromise. I asked her to stop redecorating our bedroom. You embarrassed her. In her own home. At a family dinner. So you're divorcing me? It's not working. You're divorcing me because your mother told you to. He looked away. I'll move out today. You can stay in the house for 30 days. Then we'll need to list it. I signed the papers that afternoon. What else could I do? Attorney Joseph Brennan, 57, specialist in family law, walked me through everything. Community property, asset division, the fact that I had no claim to the house because it was in Helen Chen's name. This is pretty clean, Brennan said. No kids, no major assets. You'll walk away with your car and your personal belongings. That's it? You were married less than 4 years. Connecticut isn't a community property state. What you brought in, you take out. I left with my Honda Civic, my laptop, and my shattered dignity. I found out I was pregnant on a Tuesday, 3 days after Ethan moved out, 10 days after he'd served me papers. I'd been feeling off, nauseous, exhausted, chalked it up to stress. My friend Amanda Reeves, 29, graphic designer, my work best friend, dragged me to CVS. Take the test, she said. Rule it out. I took 3 tests, all positive. I sat on the bathroom floor of my new apartment, a tiny 1-bedroom in a building that smelled like curry and old carpet, and stared at the pink lines. Ethan and I had been trying for a baby, not aggressively, but we'd stopped using protection 6 months ago. And now I was pregnant, alone, divorced, with an ex-husband who'd chosen his mother over me. Are you going to tell him? Amanda asked. I don't know. I called Attorney Brennan the next day. You're not obligated to tell him, Brennan said. Not until the baby is born. Then there are custody and support issues to address. What if I don't want custody from him? That's your choice. But he has parental rights. If he finds out, he can petition for custody regardless of your wishes. I hung up, made a decision. I wouldn't tell him. Not yet. Not while he was still tangled up with his mother. Not while he was still the man who needed permission to make choices. My baby deserved better. The pregnancy was hard. I worked full-time at Hartwell Digital, the design firm where I'd been employed for 4 years. My supervisor, Karen Hutchins, 34, Cornell MFA, mother of 2, was understanding. Take your lunch breaks. Leave early if you need to. We'll figure it out. I had morning sickness that lasted all day. Swollen ankles, back pain, the kind of exhaustion that felt like drowning. I went to appointments alone. My OB, Dr. Sarah Martinez, 41, Johns Hopkins Medical School, 15 years in obstetrics, was kind. You're doing great, she'd say. Baby looks healthy. You're measuring right on track. Thank you. Is the father involved? No, she never asked again. At 20 weeks, I found out I was having a boy. I cried in the ultrasound room. Happy tears, scared tears, overwhelmed tears. I hadn't told my parents yet. They lived in Florida, retired. We talked once a month, surface level stuff. I called my mom that night. I'm pregnant, I said. What? With who? Ethan, my ex-husband. You're divorced? I'd never told them. Too ashamed. Yes, we divorced 4 months ago. And he got you pregnant? It happened before we split. Does he know? No. Silence on the other end. Mom, this is a mess, Chloe. I know. Do you need money? No, I'm fine. Are you sure? Because your father and I can— I'm fine, really. We hung up. She didn't call back. I spent Thanksgiving alone, ate Thai takeout, and watched Netflix. Amanda invited me to Christmas. Her family was loud and warm and asked too many questions. When are you due? Her mother asked. February. And the father? Not in the picture. Sympathetic looks. Pitying smiles. I went home early. January hit like a storm. I was 36 weeks pregnant. Huge. Uncomfortable. Ready to be done. Dr. Martinez called me on a Monday morning. Chloe, I'm so sorry. I've been in a car accident. Oh my God. Are you okay? I'll be fine. Broken wrist, some bruising, but I can't deliver babies for at least 6 weeks. My due date was in 3 weeks. What do I do? I'm transferring your care to Dr. Patel. She's excellent. You'll be in good hands. Dr. Anita Patel, 38, Northwestern Medical School, 10 years in obstetrics. I met her the next day. She was warm, professional, reviewed my chart. Everything looks good, she said. We'll induce at 39 weeks if you haven't gone into labor naturally. I nodded, tried to relax. 2 weeks later, I went into labor. 2:47 a.m., February 12th. Contractions woke me up 5 minutes apart, regular. I called the hospital. Come in, the nurse said. We'll check you out. I drove myself. No one to call, no one to help. Amanda was in Boston for a work conference. My parents were in Florida. I had acquaintances, co-workers, but no one close enough to wake up at 3 a.m. I checked in at the labor and delivery desk, got admitted, changed into a gown. Dr. Patel wasn't on call. She's at a conference, the nurse explained, but Dr. Chen is covering. He's great. Dr. Chen. I didn't think anything of it. It's a common name, until he walked into my room and lowered his mask, and I saw Ethan's face. You need to push, Ethan said. His voice was steady, professional, but his hands were still shaking. I pushed. The pain was indescribable, like being torn apart from the inside out. Good, he said. Again. I pushed again. I can see the head, Linda said. You're doing great, Chloe. Another push. Another. One more, Ethan said. Big push, I screamed, pushed with everything I had. And then, relief. The pressure was gone. A baby cried. My baby. Ethan held him. My son. Our son. His face was wet, tears mixing with sweat. It's a boy, he whispered. Linda cut the umbilical cord, wrapped him in a blanket, placed him on my chest. I looked down at the tiny face, the dark hair, the little fists. He was perfect. Hi, baby, I whispered. I'm your mom. Ethan stood there, frozen, watching. 6 pounds, 8 ounces, Linda announced. 20 inches long, perfect APGAR scores. She took the baby to the warmer, cleaned him up, checked him over. Ethan finished the delivery, delivered the placenta, stitched me up. His hands were steadier now, muscle memory taking over. When it was done, when the room had quieted, when Linda had left to get me water, Ethan spoke. Why didn't you tell me? I was exhausted, bleeding. My body felt like it had been through a war. You really want to have this conversation now? You were pregnant when I served you papers. No, I found out 3 days after you left. 3 days? His voice broke. Chloe, I had a right to know. Did you? I looked at him. Did the man who chose his mother over me every single day for 3 years have a right to know? That's not fair. Fair? I laughed. It hurt my stitches. You want to talk about fair? I made mistakes. You filed for divorce because your mother told you to. Because I asked her to stop redecorating our bedroom. That's not a mistake, Ethan. That's a choice. He flinched. So when I found out I was pregnant, I made a choice too. My son deserves a father who chooses him, not one who asks permission from his mother first. I would have been there, he said. I would have what? Stayed married to me out of obligation? Resented me for trapping you? Let your mother control how we raised him? Silence. That's what I thought. Linda came back with water, crackers, a warm blanket. Let's get you cleaned up, she said gently. Then we'll bring baby back. She helped me to the bathroom, helped me change into a fresh gown, helped me back to bed. Ethan was gone. I stayed in the hospital for 2 days. Standard postpartum observation. They monitored me for hemorrhaging, checked my vitals, made sure I could feed the baby. I named him Oliver. Oliver James. James was my father's name, but mostly I just liked it. Ethan came by twice. The first time I was sleeping. Linda told him to come back later. The second time I was feeding Oliver. He stood in the doorway, didn't come in. Can we talk? He asked. Not now. Chloe, please. I just gave birth. I'm exhausted. I'm bleeding. I'm trying to figure out how to keep a human alive. This conversation can wait. He left. On my discharge day, the hospital social worker stopped by. Her name was Patricia Green, 52, licensed clinical social worker, 25 years in hospital social work. I wanted to check in, she said. Make sure you have support at home. I'm fine. You're a single mother? Yes. Do you have family, friends, someone to help you? I'll manage. She handed me a business card. This is a support group for single mothers. They meet every Thursday at the community center. Free childcare, coffee and bagels. I took the card. Thank you. And if you need anything, formula assistance, housing support, mental health resources, call me. I nodded. She left. I was packing Oliver's things, the tiny outfit, the blanket, the pacifiers, when Ethan appeared in the doorway. His mother was with him, Helen Chen, 65 years old, impeccable posture, designer handbag, looking at me like I'd committed a crime. Perfect. Chloe, she said. Her voice was ice. Ethan told me about the situation. The baby, you mean? This is exactly the kind of trap I warned him about. The room temperature dropped. People in the hallway were staring. Nurses, patients, visitors. Trap? I repeated. My voice was getting louder. I didn't even tell him I was pregnant. Very convenient timing, Mrs. Chen said, showing up in labor at the hospital where he works. I went into labor at 2:47 a.m. I came to the nearest hospital. I didn't know he was on call. Of course you didn't. I stood up, my stitches pulled. I didn't care. You want to know what's convenient? I said, the fact that your son divorced me 8 months ago, that he served me papers the morning after I asked you to stop controlling our marriage. You want to call something a trap? Call that. Mrs. Chen's face went red. And now he's suddenly interested in fatherhood? Where was this energy when he chose you over me every single day? I raised him to honor family. You raised him to be afraid of you. Gasps from the hallway. I turned to Ethan. You want to be a father? Prove it. File for custody. Show up. But don't you dare pretend this is about love. His eyes were wet. I made a mistake. You made 100 mistakes. I'm just the one who stopped forgiving them. I adjusted Oliver in my arms. He was sleeping, peaceful, unaware of the disaster around him. Oh, and Ethan, I said. Melissa dumped you, didn't she? His face confirmed it. Good. Now you know how it feels to be someone's second choice. I grabbed my discharge papers, my bag. Mrs. Chen grabbed my arm. You can't just walk out. I looked at her hand on me, then at the security guard stationed at the nurse's desk. Touch me again, and I'll file a police report. She let go like I'd burned her. I walked past them both. Linda was at the desk. She handed me a folder. Discharge instructions, she said. Follow-up appointments, emergency numbers. She lowered her voice. You're doing great, Chloe. Don't let them make you doubt that. I nodded, couldn't speak. Walked through those hospital doors with Oliver against my chest. Left my ex-husband standing next to the woman who'd destroyed our marriage, finally understanding that some things, once broken, stay broken. 3 months later, Oliver was 12 weeks old. He smiled now, made cooing sounds, slept for 4-hour stretches at night. I was back at work, part-time. Karen had been incredibly flexible. Take what you need, she'd said. We'll make it work. I had childcare 3 days a week. My neighbor, Mrs. Rita Alvarez, 68, retired teacher, grandmother of 7. She watched watched Oliver in her apartment, charged me $15 an hour, loved him like her own. He's a good baby, she'd tell me. So calm, so sweet. I was functioning, surviving, getting through each day. Ethan had reached out twice through his lawyer, attorney Michelle Santos, 43, family law specialist, certified mediator. She'd sent formal letters requesting paternity testing and custody arrangements. I'd hired my own lawyer, attorney Robert Kim, 51, Georgetown Law, 20 years in family law. You don't have to agree to anything, Kim said, but if he pursues this, a court will order DNA testing. Let him pursue it. He will, and once paternity is established, he'll have rights. Visitation at minimum, possibly shared custody, over my dead body. Chloe, I understand your anger, but the law favors parental involvement, unless you can prove he's unfit. His mother tried to grab me in the hospital, in front of witnesses. Did you file a report? No. Then it's your word against hers. I hung up feeling defeated, but I kept living, kept working, kept falling in love with my son. One Tuesday afternoon, I was at the pediatrician's office. Routine checkup, vaccines. The pediatrician, Dr. James Okafor, 39, Columbia Medical School, pediatrics specialist, examined Oliver. He's thriving, Dr. Okafor said. Good weight gain, meeting all his milestones. You're doing an excellent job. Thank you. Any concerns? No, he's perfect. And you? How are you doing? I hesitated. Fine. Postpartum can be difficult, especially for single mothers. If you're feeling overwhelmed, depressed, anxious, we have resources. I'm okay. Really. He handed me a pamphlet, just in case. I took it, threw it in my bag. That night, Oliver wouldn't stop crying. I'd fed him, changed him, rocked him, walked him, tried everything. He just screamed for 3 hours. At 11 p.m., I called the pediatrician's after-hours line. Bring him in, the nurse said. I drove to the emergency room. Dr. Okafor met me there. What's going on? He won't stop crying. I don't know what's wrong. He examined Oliver, checked his ears, his throat, his belly, ear infection, he said. Not severe, but painful. We'll prescribe antibiotics. He'll feel better in a day or two. Relief flooded through me. Thank you. You did the right thing bringing him in. I started crying. Dr. Okafor handed me tissues. It's okay. You're okay. I'm so tired. I whispered. I know. I don't know what I'm doing. You're doing great. Oliver is healthy and loved. That's what matters. I drove home with antibiotics and a sleeping baby, put him in his crib, collapsed on my bed, texted Amanda. I can't do this. She called immediately. What happened? I told her everything. The crying, the ER, the exhaustion. Come stay with me this weekend, she said. I'll help. You don't have to. I want to. You're not alone, Chloe. That weekend, Amanda drove down from Boston, held Oliver while I showered, made me food, let me sleep. You're a good mom, she told me. I don't feel like one. That's what makes you a good mom. Bad moms don't worry about whether they're doing it right. 6 months after birth, Oliver was 6 months old, sitting up, eating solids, laughing at everything. Ethan's lawyer had filed for paternity testing and custody. The court ordered DNA testing. Results came back. 99.9% probability of paternity. No surprise. The court ordered mediation. I sat across from Ethan in a conference room at Michelle Santos's office. The mediator, Frank Delgado, 56, certified family mediator, retired judge, sat at the head of the table. Let's start with what we agree on, Delgado said. You both want what's best for Oliver. I nodded. So did Ethan. Mr. Chen, you're requesting shared custody, 50-50 time split. Yes, Ethan said. Ms. Turner, you're opposed? I'm not opposed to him seeing Oliver, I said carefully. I'm opposed to shared custody with someone who abandoned me during my pregnancy. I didn't abandon you, Ethan said. I didn't know. Because you didn't ask. Because you were too busy letting your mother run your life. That's not fair. Fair? I looked at him. Really looked at him. You divorced me because your mother told you to. You've made every major life decision based on her approval. You really think I'm going to let you share custody of my son when you can't even make decisions without her permission? Silence. Delgado cleared his throat. Perhaps we should start smaller. Supervised visitation. A few hours a week. Build from there. I can agree to that, I said. Ethan looked like he wanted to argue. Then he nodded. Okay. We worked out a schedule. 2 hours every Sunday. Supervised by a neutral third party at a family visitation center. It wasn't what he wanted, but it was a start. The first visitation was awkward. The center, family's first visitation services, was a cheerful building with toys and soft lighting. The supervisor, Maria Gonzalez, 32, social work degree, certified in family visitation, greeted us. I'll be in the room, she explained, just observing, making sure everything goes smoothly. I handed Oliver to Ethan. My son looked confused, reached for me. It's okay, buddy, I whispered. Mama's right here. Ethan held him awkwardly, like he wasn't sure how. Support his head, I said. He adjusted. Oliver started crying. He doesn't know me, Ethan said, voice breaking. No, I agreed. He doesn't. I watched through the observation window. Maria sitting quietly in the corner. Ethan trying to engage Oliver. Oliver crying. After an hour, Maria brought him back to me. He's overwhelmed, she said gently. It happens. We'll try again next week. Week after week, we tried. By week 6, Oliver stopped crying when Ethan held him. By week 10, he actually smiled at him. By week 15, he reached for Ethan. I watched it happen. Watched my son bond with the man who'd broken my heart. And I felt nothing. No anger, no jealousy, no fear, just acceptance. Ethan was Oliver's father, like it or not. And Oliver deserved deserved to know him. 1 year after birth, Oliver turned 1. I threw a small party at my apartment. Amanda came, Mrs. Alvarez, a few co-workers. Ethan asked if he could come. I said yes. He showed up with a gift, a wooden block set, educational, age-appropriate. He'll love it, I said. We made small talk, polite, distant. His mother wasn't with him. How's Helen? I asked. Couldn't help myself. She's the same. Still controlling your life? He looked at me. I moved out. I blinked. What? 3 months ago. Got my own apartment. Why? Because you were right. I let her make decisions for me, including the worst decision I ever made, divorcing me. Yes. Oliver toddled over, grabbed Ethan's leg. Dada, he said. First time. Ethan's face crumpled. He picked up Oliver, held him close. Hey, buddy, he whispered. I watched them, father and son, and felt something shift. Not forgiveness, not yet, but maybe possibility. 18 months after birth, Oliver was walking, talking, a tiny person with opinions. Ethan and I had graduated from supervised visits to unsupervised weekend time. He picked Oliver up every Saturday morning, brought him back Sunday evening. I spent those weekends sleeping, working, existing without the constant demands of toddlerhood. One Saturday, Ethan showed up late. Sorry, he said. Flat tire. It's fine. Oliver ran to him. Dada! Ethan scooped him up. Hey, little man, ready for our weekend? Park. We'll go to the park. I promise. They left. I collapsed on the couch. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Hello? Is this Chloe Turner? A woman's voice. Yes. This is Officer Jennifer Matsuda, Hartford Police Department. I'm calling regarding a complaint filed by Helen Chen. My stomach dropped. What? Mrs. Chen alleges you've been denying her access to her grandson. She's requesting a welfare check. A welfare check? On who? On your son, Oliver Chen. His name is Oliver Turner. Mrs. Chen claims you've been keeping the child from family, refusing to cooperate with custody arrangements. She's concerned about the child's well-being. I couldn't breathe. That's a lie. I have full custody. Ethan, Dr. Chen, has visitation every weekend. He has Oliver right now. Can you verify that? Call him. Call his lawyer. This is harassment. I'm just doing my job, Ms. Turner. If you can provide contact information for Dr. Chen, I'll follow up. I gave her Ethan's number, Michelle Santos's number, Robert Kim's number. Thank you, Officer Matsuda said. I'll be in touch. She hung up. I called Robert Kim immediately. Helen Chen filed a police report, I said, claiming I'm denying her access to Oliver. That's absurd. Can she do that? She can file whatever she wants, doesn't mean it has merit. I'll contact the officer and provide documentation. Your custody order, Ethan's visitation schedule. This will be dismissed. She's trying to take him from me. She doesn't have a case. Grandparents' rights in Connecticut are extremely limited. She'd have to prove you're unfit, which you're not. I hung up, called Ethan. Did your mother file a police report claiming I'm keeping Oliver from her? What? No. I don't think Officer Matsuda just called me. Your mother claimed I'm denying family access and requested a welfare check. Silence. Ethan, I'll talk to her. You'll talk to her? She filed a false police report. I'll handle it. Like you handled our marriage? I hung up. 20 minutes later, Ethan called back. I talked to my mother. She admitted it. She's scared she's never going to meet Oliver because she tried to assault me in the hospital because she's toxic. I know. I told her that. I told her if she ever does anything like this again, I'll cut her out completely. You should cut her out now. Chloe, she called the police on me, filed a false report. This is exactly why I didn't tell you about the pregnancy, because I knew she'd make my life hell. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. What do you want me to do? I thought about it. Really thought. I want you to prove you've changed. I want you to show me that you're not the same man who chose his mother over his wife, over his family. I am different. Then prove it. I hung up. Officer Matsuda called back 2 hours later. I spoke with Dr. Chen and both attorneys, she said. The complaint has been dismissed. Mrs. Chen has been warned about filing false reports. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Thank you. For what it's worth, Officer Matsuda said, you're doing a great job. Your son is lucky to have you. I cried after we hung up. Not sad tears, relieved tears. 2 years after birth, Oliver turned 2. I threw a bigger party this time. Park pavilion, bounce house, pizza, friends, co-workers, Amanda and her boyfriend, Mrs. Alvarez and her entire family. Ethan came, alone. My mother wanted to come, he said. I told her no. Good. She's been in therapy, addressing some control issues. That's great, truly. She wants to meet Oliver, eventually. I looked at him, at the man who destroyed everything and was slowly rebuilding. Maybe someday, but not yet. I need to know she won't hurt him the way she hurt me. She won't. I promise. I won't let her. We'll see. Oliver ran over, covered in frosting and grass stains. Mama, Dada, come play. We followed him to the bounce house, stood side by side while our son jumped and laughed. Thank you, Ethan said quietly. For what? For letting me be his father, even after everything. I didn't do it for you. I did it for him. I know, but still, thank you. We stood in silence. Not comfortable, not exactly, but not hostile either. Just two people trying to do right by the tiny human they'd created. 3 years after birth, Oliver started preschool. He loved it. Came home every day with paintings and stories. Miss Emma says I'm a good listener. I made a friend. His name is Max. We learned about dinosaurs. I'd gotten a promotion at work. Senior designer. $78,000 a year. Enough to move to a bigger apartment. 2 bedrooms. Better neighborhood. Ethan helped me move. Carried boxes. Assembled furniture. Played with Oliver while I unpacked. This is nice, he said, looking around the new place. It's home. You've done well, Chloe. Really well. Thanks. I mean it. Oliver's thriving. You're thriving. You did this on your own. Not entirely. Hey, Amanda helped. Mrs. Alvarez, Karen at work, my lawyer, it takes a village. Still, you're incredible. I looked at him, saw something in his eyes, something familiar. Don't, I said. Don't what? Don't look at me like that, like we could try again. Would that be so bad? Yes, because you're not the man I married, and I'm not the woman you divorced. People change. We did change into people who are better apart. He nodded, looked away. Can we be friends? He asked. For Oliver, we are friends, the kind who co-parent and respect boundaries. That's enough? That's everything. 5 years after birth, Oliver started kindergarten. Backpack too big, smile too bright. Ethan and I both took him on the first day, walked him to his classroom together, watched him run to the reading corner without looking back. He's growing up, Ethan said, too fast. We stood in the hallway, parents everywhere, crying, taking photos. I have something to tell you, Ethan said. Okay, I'm seeing someone. It's new, but I wanted you to know, before Oliver meets her, I felt nothing. No jealousy, no pain. That's great. I'm happy for you. Really? Really. You deserve to be happy. So do you. I am, and I meant it. I was happy. In my career, in my motherhood, in my life. I didn't need a partner to complete me. I'd completed myself. The final word. People always ask if I regret it, not telling Ethan about the pregnancy. The answer is no, because if I'd told him, he would have stayed. Out of obligation, out of duty. And our son would have grown up watching his father ask permission to love him. Instead, Oliver has a father who chose him, who fought for him, who proved he could stand on his own, and a mother who walked away with her dignity, who built a life from nothing, who showed him that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk through those doors alone. The doctor lowered his mask, and I saw my ex-husband's face, and I learned that endings aren't always disasters. Sometimes they're just new beginnings in disguise.